We're talking about how to manage your expectations or what to do during the home inspection process or before the home inspection process. First, I'd like to talk about the buyer. So the home inspection is done by a home inspection company for the buying party, typically, where we go through the house and we inspect everything. And basically my job as a home inspector is to educate the customer and explain or describe everything in the house to them, good or bad. So we're going to list a whole pile of defects for them. There's a lot of information that me as a home inspector has to tell that new buyer in like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So sometimes to a new buyer, they might start to feel a little bit overwhelmed. So let them know ahead of time, hey, man, there's no perfect houses out there. This home inspector is going to come through, and all you're going to hear is this is broken, that's broken, this is going to break soon, that might break in a couple of years. Just take it all in, listen to him talk. It's all going to be in the report, but try not to get overwhelmed. Just listen to him, and then ask questions when he's talking about the different things in the house that you're just not sure about. Now, you're going to get a report at some point. With us, it's the same day. You'll get a report a couple of hours later, and it'll have all the conditions in it. It'll be super long. It'll have lots of pictures in it. It'll have lots of commentary in it. If the buyer's a new buyer and you're representing them, ask them for a copy of the report. You guys go through it together. Have the buyer ask you any questions that they have about concerns, but more importantly, if there's something that's not clear, refer them back to the home inspector. Don't try to answer their questions. You're the real estate agent. You do real estate. Let us do the home inspection and describe the house. Then there is an opportunity to negotiate. So you, as their agent, can go back to the selling party and ask them to make some repairs or some type of consideration based on the conditions so that the buyer can still manage the house. That's pretty much the process. We're not out there to kill a deal or make a deal happen. We're just out there to describe a house so this person, this buyer, can make a smart decision about the house. The seller has to worry about the home inspection as well. So if you're the listing agent, you get a deal, this buyer agrees to buy the house, your seller accepts the offer, you're good to go. But the buyer has a home inspection contingency, which means they have a certain amount of time to go through the house, perform their home inspection, and make sure that this house is what they think they're buying. So from the seller's side, there's a couple things before the home inspection even happens, even before the listing happens, frankly, that you really need to do. The seller of the house is required to fill out a seller's disclosure form. This is a form that should be super accurate, and the seller is going to disclose everything they know about the house, how old things are, things that are broken, things that don't work. And then this will educate the buyer before they even get their inspection, if it's accurate, as to what you're selling. This is very important that the seller put an accurate disclosure, because inaccuracies in the disclosure can make a buyer, especially a novice buyer, a little bit uneasy that maybe they don't have accurate information for a reason, and there is distrust out there. So then you're going to tell the seller, again, as the listing agent, tell them, hey, the inspector's going to need to get everywhere. Don't have a bunch of stuff blocking the attic. Don't have a bunch of stuff piled in front of the heating system or the AC. The inspector's going to want to see and get to all this stuff. Next thing from the seller side, it's typical and almost expected that you as the listing agent, you'll be there during the inspection, but we would really, and I mean really, discourage the seller from being home or present during the home inspection. And then as a listing agent, the home inspector is going to tell the buyer all kinds of stuff about the house, good, bad. They're going to tell them a bunch of stuff is broken because there's no perfect houses out there. The best thing you can do as the listing agent, if there's things that shouldn't be used because they're not safe or dangerous. For example, the recirculating tub upstairs was disconnected because they're in the middle of fixing it, and the drain is not connected. If you put water in the tub, you're going to have it raining in the floor below. That would be a fantastic thing for you to tell the home inspector so that we don't ruin the ceiling downstairs. The best case scenario, if you're the selling agent, take it in, certainly listen to it, but until the agent representing the buyer or the buyer comes to you and says, either verbally or in writing, that we're gonna ask you to address this, don't worry everybody about it, because all you're doing is causing a bunch of stress. So chill out, wait for the report, and then address those concerns after the inspection report comes in.